This is the tradesight stocks and futures roadmap for the week beginning Monday, February 18th and ending Friday, February 22nd, 2013. It's going to be a short week as we've got a Monday holiday here for President's Day, so the markets are all closed. Let's take a look first at the S&P daily chart, S&P 500 daily chart. We watch it every week. Obviously, we've had a nice run here since that cup breakout, shaking off a 13 sell signal way back at the beginning of January. We're now, if you take a look at it, 10 bars up on the countdown phase on this from the seeker once again, and typically if you get two 13 counts in a row, the second one's almost never ignored. So just be aware of that from a daily chart perspective. Also, I wanted to pull up really quick the weekly chart of the S&P 500. And you can see there's a seeker 13 sell signal on the weekly 2 weeks ago. We're now bumping against that risk line off of that. So we'll see if this area contains the market. Could be very interesting. It's the first seeker 13 sell signal in more than 4 years on the S&P 500. That's very unusual. All the others have been recycled along the way. So it's something to be aware of for sure. We'll see if it turns into anything or not. Now let's take a look at the NDX, just so we can get a feeling on both sides here. The NDX is the NASDAQ 100 index, of course. Here's the weekly chart right here. You can see if we roll over here, if we do drop, we've got a head and shoulders formation right here forming now. So that would be interesting if we do form the right shoulder and arm here and then break down into that 24-25 area. That'd be very bearish. And you can see the 13 counts here last year on the weekly, or in 2011 now, sorry, on the weekly. That was the top for the year. So when you see that on the S&P, like I just showed you, it's usually it can be significant, obviously. So let's keep an eye on that. And then let's take here a look at the daily chart of the NDX as well. And there we see a little less going on. We got a 13 sell signal a while back. We had that island formation, but that never turned into anything. Now we've got a gap up in 6 days in a row. If you were to gap down here, this becomes an island the last 6 days. Just something to be aware of. But we have not gotten through the risk line from the 13 sell signal back in the middle of January on this, and we're certainly nowhere near new highs like we're seeing on the S&P. So just that's the overall look of the market. I'd say overall fairly neutral. We've got a sell signal on the broad market S&P weekly, and we've got other than that, an uptrend in place. So our job is not to call tops or predict when the market's going to top out, but certainly we have to look for the signals in terms of what's happening in the market, and the trend is up, and we stick with that until we actually get not only a signal but some confirmation to the downside. We haven't seen it yet. The other thing we look at here weekly is what the economic data coming out this week is going to be. Here's a look at the data. Now Monday, obviously holiday, so here's Tuesday, a non-important number, the NAHB Housing Market Index. All the data this week is therefore packed into Wednesday and Thursday. There's no data on Friday. So here's Wednesday, housing starts, building permits, and the PPI, also the release of the Fed minutes from the last meeting. And on Thursday, the bigger day, initial and continuing jobless claims like we see every week, CPI, one of the bigger numbers every month, along with Philly Fed leading indicators, existing home sales. That's a lot of data. Natural gas and crude oil inventories, no data on Friday. In terms of what to expect, Tuesday, first day back from a 3-day weekend, usually a little slow, probably people getting started again, plus it's the first day of a new options month, so that takes a little bit out of us. Wednesday, hopefully we start to see volume pick up. Thursday as well with all that data coming out, and then of course Fridays are Fridays, you never know, and people tend to leave a little early for the weekend. So that's what we're looking forward to here. Be focused on Wednesday and Thursday the most. Of course, one of the things facing the market right now is what's going to become of this sequester coming up in March, and what Congress and the White House are going to work out there. So that may be something that, once again, just like back at the end of the year with the fiscal cliff, we may be hanging on once again, waiting for them to actually work together and get something done. Obviously, a full sequester coming into effect would be a negative for the economy and negative for the market. So they need to work something out so that it doesn't come to that. But the market seems to always accept that they're going to fix it. They just tend to fix it after instead of getting it done in advance. But always a possibility that it won't happen one of these times. Have a great week of trading. Our calls are already posted for the week ahead, and have a good President's Day weekend.